You probably walked past this already. A stack of boxes by the door. A comment you made at checkout. A photo you posted last week. None of that looks dangerous. But most break-ins don't start with a stranger studying your house. They start with something small you gave away without noticing. Years of stockpiling can disappear in one night, and the mistake that causes it is rarely dramatic. It's boring. And that's exactly why it works. And number one isn't something a stranger sees. It's someone you already trust. This isn't really about better locks. It's about what your own habits already reveal to someone watching or listening or scrolling. People who study burglars for a living keep finding the same thing. Targets aren't chosen at random. They're chosen because of small, ordinary signals. So before you buy one more can of food, look at what you might already be telling people without meaning to. Some of these mistakes happen outside your house. Some happen inside your own circle. Watch how close they get by the end. Number 10. The loot boxes on your porch. Start with the easiest one to miss because it happens before you've even opened anything. A case of freeze-dried meals, a crate of ammo cans, a water filter shipment sitting by the door in full view of the sidewalk. You haven't touched it yet, but someone else already has, with their eyes. The box isn't the problem. The box announcing the box is the problem. A stranger doing your inventory for you, for free, before you've even unpacked it. Research on how burglars pick targets keeps coming back to visible cues of what's inside a home. A stack of unopened supply boxes sitting on a porch is exactly that kind of cue. People miss this because they're thinking about what's inside the box, not what the box is saying from the street. A delivery driver walks by. A neighbor glances over. A passerby files it away without even trying to. Nobody has to break in for that information to spread. It's already sitting outside in daylight. The fix costs nothing. Break the box down the same day it arrives. Bring it in before you open it, not after. Stagger big orders instead of letting them pile up in a visible spot. That's it. But if boxes tell strangers what's inside your house, the next mistake tells them exactly how much you've got. And it happens once they're already through the front door. Number 9. The full shelf reveal. Picture the garage tour. A friend stops by, you're proud of what you've built, and you walk them past shelves, stacked floor to ceiling with food, water, and supplies. It feels harmless. It's just a guest. But that guest becomes an unintentional scout the moment they leave. Prepper security writing keeps circling back to this exact scene. A visitor who sees shelves lined with row after row of supplies remembers it long after the visit ends. Almost everyone has given someone this tour without thinking twice. It's rarely the guest who does anything with it. It's whoever the guest mentions it to later, at a party, in passing, months down the line. You should see their garage travels a lot further than the sentence itself suggests. The move here isn't to stop inviting people over. It's to control what they see by default. A curtain over the shelving. A door that stays closed during normal visits. Keep bulk storage out of the casual sightline and the problem mostly disappears. But visual exposure is only half of it. Talking with your mouth, not just your eyes, is where this really starts to spread. Number 8. The cashier confession. You're at the register, buying in bulk, and the small talk starts. Getting ready for anything? And you answer honestly, because it feels like nothing, just a friendly exchange over a big purchase. That comment doesn't stay with the cashier, it moves. Prepper security sources describe the same pattern over and over. Something said once to a stranger circulates to their neighbor, their coworker. People the original shopper never meets and never will. Small talk becomes its own supply chain of information. People overlook this because it feels like friendliness, not disclosure. But quantity and pattern matter as much as any single comment. Buying the same thing, in the same amount, at the same store, on a regular basis, is a signal all by itself, even without a single word said. Eventually, someone you barely know asks, "So I heard you've got quite a setup," and you can't even trace how they knew. Keep transactions short. Skip the follow-up questions. Vary where you buy when it's easy to. If a stranger at a register can piece together this much, imagine what a smartphone camera does with the same information permanently and searchable. Number 7. The geotagged haul video. The video feels innocent. A prep haul post, a pantry tour, a quick clip showing off the new gear. You're focused on the content, but the background is doing the talking, and it doesn't stop once you post it. Digital security guidance for preppers is blunt about this. Treat personal data like stockpile supplies, shared only on a need-to-know basis, because small pieces gathered over time add up to something bigger: a house number and frame, a recognizable street sign, location tags left switched on. None of that needs a caption to be useful to someone paying attention. The photo works against you long after you've forgotten posting it. A stranger scrolls, screenshots, cross-references, a public profile against a real address, and even a private group isn't a real wall. Screenshots leave closed communities constantly. Strip the metadata, blur the background, post later from somewhere else, not in real time, from your own driveway. Online exposure is bad enough, but a predictable real-world routine is worse, because it doesn't just show someone what you have. It tells them exactly when to come get it. Number 6, the same time, every time. Same grocery run, same night class, same church service, every single week. It feels private simply because you never say it out loud. But a routine doesn't need to be announced. It just needs to be watched. This is where the list stops feeling like common sense and starts feeling like actual criminology. Studies on burglary point again and again to occupancy and time away from home as some of the strongest predictors of risk. Some research even shows burglars confirming an empty house: first a doorbell rung, a knock, a pause to see if anyone answers rather than gambling blindly on a guess. They're not guessing, they're checking. And predictability, more than wealth, is often what decides who gets targeted over a more careful neighbor. The one night your schedule actually breaks, the house still gets treated as empty out of pure habit because that's what the pattern has taught anyone watching to expect. Vary your timing where you can. Put lights on timers. Ask a neighbor to create a little irregular activity around your place. Routines are invisible to you but completely visible to anyone nearby, and so is the next mistake, sitting right up on your own roofline. Number 5. The antenna nobody notices, except the right person. Most people walking past your house couldn't tell a decorative pole from a communications antenna, but some people can, and that's exactly who this mistake is for. A ham radio antenna, a visible solar array, an oversized propane or fuel tank sitting in plain view. To almost everyone, it's just equipment. To a narrow, specific audience, it's a flag, a signal that this house has invested in serious self-sufficiency, not just decoration. Burglary research shows visible security, like alarms and cameras, tends to scare off opportunists. The same logic runs in reverse here. Unusual self-sufficiency gear doesn't scare anyone off. It draws exactly the wrong kind of attention from someone motivated enough to look closer. Not everyone reads the roofline the same way you do. You installed it for function, so you stopped noticing it yourself. That's the trap. The fix isn't hiding the equipment or giving up the setup, it's limiting how far it can be seen from a public road. Fencing, landscaping, smarter placement. Equipment gives you away passively. The group chat you're part of gives you away actively. Number 4. The group chat that isn't as private as it feels. Coordinating with other preppers feels like strength in numbers. But every person added to that group is another person who now knows something about you. A closed community isn't the same thing as a secure one. Forums, mutual aid threads, messaging groups where members casually share addresses, inventories, bug-out plans. A handful of people in one chat can expose an entire neighborhood's preparedness at once. Your OPSEC is only as strong as the newest person who joined the group. The danger usually isn't a malicious insider. It's an accidental screenshot, a compromised phone, a careless forward that leaves the group's edges entirely and lands somewhere you never intended. Shared identity, we're all preppers here, creates a false sense of intimacy long before real trust has actually been earned. Share general knowledge freely. Save the specifics: location, inventory, timing, for people who've proven themselves over years, not enthusiasm. But even a carefully vetted group can't save you from a mistake made somewhere else entirely: your own front door. Number 3. The hardened safe, the soft door. Thousands spent on a safe, nothing spent on the door frame around it. That's the contrast most people never notice until it's too late. An unreinforced door frame, an unsecured side window, a garage door left unlocked out of habit. A $20 strike plate upgrade can matter more than a $2,000 safe if getting inside the house takes less than a minute. The lock they never tested is worse than the safe they'll never find. Convicted offender interviews back this up directly. The large majority check for an alarm before attempting entry, and most of them walk away entirely once they spot one. Visible, working security changes behavior more than anything hidden ever will, because most burglary is opportunistic, not determined. The safe purchase feels like the security decision, so the boring stuff around it gets skipped. Budget for entry point hardening and visible deterrence at the same time as the big-ticket storage, not after. Hardening the house matters, but it means nothing if the wrong person already knows exactly where to look. Number 2. The map you drew for them. A binder, a spreadsheet, a shared document listing every cache, every supply count, every bug-out route, organized neatly because organization feels responsible. It is responsible right up until that single file becomes the target itself. A burglar wants your stuff. This document is a shortcut to all of it at once. Digital security guidance for preppers is clear that stored data can be accessed electronically, and that consolidated personal information deserves the same caution as physical stockpile access, because unlike a shelf or a room, a file can be copied completely in seconds. A lost phone, a compromised email, one careless share, and the entire household plan is exposed at once, not piece by piece like everything before it. That's what makes this one different. Every earlier mistake leaked a fragment. This leaks the whole picture. The safest plan doesn't live in one retrievable place. Split the sensitive parts across memory and secure offline storage instead of a single accessible document. And if that document ever did reach the wrong hands, there's usually one very specific way it got there. Number 1. The person you vetted too fast. Not a stranger, not a photo, not a document sitting on a hard drive. The final and deepest mistake on this list is a person you already let in. A new friend, a relative, a group member who seemed like one of us faster than your own rules should have allowed. And somewhere in that comfort, the details slipped out early. The inventory, the location, the schedule before the relationship had actually earned them. Every mistake before this one involved something leaking outward, toward people you never met. This is different. This is a failure of judgment on the inside. The supply that fails first isn't food or gear. It's discretion. And it fails quietly, without a single alarm going off. Prepper security writing keeps returning to the same warning. Even inside a trusted circle, trust should be extended slowly, because the people most likely to expose a household's preparedness are often the ones already granted access, not strangers watching from a distance. Someone asking specific questions about quantities or timing earlier than the relationship justifies is the shelf signal here. A falling out, a debt, plain carelessness, any of it can turn a trusted person into the exact leak you spent years trying to prevent. Because once any of the earlier 9 mistakes reaches someone already inside the circle, it stops being a small risk and becomes the whole plan. Hand it over. Every weak link on this list connects back to the same idea. The boxes reveal what's inside. The shelf tour reveals how much. The words at the register reveal it to strangers. The photo reveals it permanently. The routine reveals when. The antenna reveals it to the one person who knows how to read it. The group chat multiplies it. The soft door makes it usable. The document concentrates all of it into one file. And trust, given too fast, hands it over directly. No theft required. Pick one of these to fix this week. Start with the one that costs nothing. Break down a box. Tighten what you say at checkout. Close a curtain over a shelf. The goal was never to be untouchable. It's to stop being the easiest option on the block. Which one of these have you already caught yourself doing?